let's do this. So this is going to be a call that's actually going to be a fundamental part of the entire program moving forward. So one thing I'm not happy about inside the inner circle is the members area, which lots of you will know about. So we've had it redesigned, and the purpose in this is to ensure that when you've got for example, let's say you've gone through a process of getting from 10K a month to 30K a month, and then you've got your next phase. It's to ensure we've got a workflow-driven process for you. So you're not just ambling around. Yes, you're going to have your one-to-one calls. Yes, you're going to have your group calls. Yes, you're going to have your game plans. But we want to make sure that you've actually got a workflow. So what we've done is we've actually got the entire members area redeveloped. So let's quickly go to the existing members area. And you can see here, it's a bit of a hodgepodge now. And when we created this many years ago, it served its purpose. As you know, we're developing 1, 2, sometimes 3 new strategies a month for superseding strategies. For example, the search gen lead engine, which is a major part of what your business should be, it's not in a constructive manner. So what we've done is, in the background, we've got a completely new members area, which is here. And it's being worked on right now in the background. So what this means is, let's say Kerry, Richard, Mark, any of you, you've gone through your first set of steps, or you might be in your second year, and you've reached 500,000, and the next phase is to get to 3/4. There'll be a different constraint each time. So there'll be a different set of strategies for you each time, different set of metrics each time. So what we're going to do is you're going to have your own personalized workflow, game plans. So some of you have joined the Inner Circle recently. You've got a bespoke game plan for you right now. Some of you who've been with me 3 years, you've got a different game plan right now. Some of you are aware of what other game plans are. Some of you are not aware of what other game plans are. So what I'm going to do today is take you through the progression blueprint. So what this means is this. Really, I'm putting my kahunas on the line here with you. So something I've been thinking about now for about 3 or 4 years. Should we judge your progress by how much you earn, how much money you bring in? And every time someone comes to me, the first outcome they want is, Andy, I'm a startup. I want to get 300K. I'm doing 200K. I want to get 500K. Or I'm doing 10 million, but I'm making no profit. Or we've got 20 consultants. I'm going to get down to 5 consultants, but make more money. Whatever it might be for you. But there's always a money driver, first of all. So what I've actually done is I've decided we're going to judge your progress first and foremost by money, hard cash. So that puts you on the line, and it puts me on the line. So that's what we're going to do. So to make that happen, we know there's just 2 simple things to do inside the inner circle. One is we get processes converting, then we scale them. But what I'm going to do is take you through the model that we're going to be applying. Now, first off, you might have seen just now on this video here, there's discs being presented there. So that disc was for Simon. I think I've done it was 250,000. I think Simon got to. I think it's a gold disc on here. I think it's Brant getting to 1 million. I think there might have been a platinum disc or silver disc. I think that's 500,000. So we've got this disc thing we do when we get together live. However, I want to make sure we've got a more discreet, articulate roadmap for you to earn more. So I can see they're doing 10K a month, they're doing 20K a month, they're doing 100K a month. Whatever the figure's going to be, it might be that it, first of all, can be done on a quarterly basis. But I want to see what that is. So what that does, it puts some pressure on yourself. It puts some pressure on yourself to actually judge it by hard cash. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through this right now. So I said I've been thinking about this for actually years now, years. But I'm that confident in the group we've got. We've got a no douchebag rule inside the inner circle. We're very, very good now about ensuring we don't let, well, to be frank, dickheads into the inner circle. You know, over the years, we've made a number of mistakes. Majorly, most of them have been my fault. It's funny how your intuition tells you something. But we've got a really pure DNA, is a phrase that's been used a number of times now. And you guys are all go-getters. You're all here to achieve something. Now, some of you work at home. Some of you have got an office, and it can be really lonely in terms of what we do. However, we're in a group now where members have been with us now for 4 or 5, since they joined the program, going on and on years. And that's what I want for you guys. What I'm not about is someone coming in and having a great 3 months and then buggering off and they come back with the tail between their legs. That's happened. Going back 2-3 years, we sell individual strategies. And someone will have a great 3 months and they run a set of campaigns or they run a content strategy. I've used Andy Whitehead's ABC. This happened, but then it went down. Why is that? Because as their business changed, they didn't adapt their model. I'll say that again. As their business changed, they didn't adapt their model. So as you progress through the business, what gets you from 10K a month to 50K a month will not guaranteed be the same thing. Your role number of different variables will not be the same thing. It gets you from 50K a month to 100K a month. It will not. So I'm going to take you through what you need to do, what you need to be aware of, but also how, let's judge you. Let's judge your progress on cold, hard cash. So that means a little bit of pressure. However, we're up for that. And let's be honest about this. You're all here, first of all, to earn a certain amount. And sometimes we get focused on revenue, sometimes focused on profit, and often I think revenue is a crazy one. Profit is what you really want. So when we go through the business blueprint, it's how much money you get in your pocket end of the year. So it could be extract 500K from business, 200K tax means you get 300K in your pocket. That's what we want to focus on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to formalize the grading system for you. I'm going to formalize it for you. But just to give you a heads up, lots of you might know that I do Muay Thai. More so 10 years ago than I do now. The old bones are starting to get a little bit achy. However, in Muay Thai, so for those of you who don't know, it's the art of 8 limbs. So you use your fists, your elbows, your knees, and your shins to fight. And in Muay Thai, it was developed by the Thais to actually defend their country many, many moons ago. However, there isn't actually a formal grading system like karate. But where I first started doing this, I actually first did it in Thailand. When I was training up north, there's a club in Warrington, and they've got a grading system. So what I'm really going to do is I'm going to model their grading system. So it's almost as we're going to go through a belt system. So what we're going to have is this. We're going to have a number of different phases. And it's going to look something like this. And again, I'm going to formalize this, and we're going to see where you are. So all of you are going to have a one-to-one with one of my team. So I want to see where you are now, what you're earning per month, what your constraint is, and then with the new platform, we're going to give you your own bespoke game plan. So much work's gone to this, it's incredible. So what the mastermind group I'm in, they say that we overthink this and we do too much in terms of your support or progression, but I'm really excited about this for you guys. So we're going to put our kahunas on the line and make this around cash. So this is what we're going to have. We're going to have almost like a beginner's level. Then we're going to have an intermediate level. Then we're going to have a senior level. Then we're going to have a master level. Then underneath here, for each of these, there's going to be 3 levels. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then up here, we're going to get into 10, 11, and 12. Now, each of these is going to relate to a metric. The metric is going to be cash. It's going to be cash. So, level 1, 5 to 10K a month. Level 2, 10 to 15K a month. Level 3, 15 to 20K a month. So we're getting our business moving. We're already in startup mode, or we're just getting our shit in place. But now we want to start getting serious. So the next level, we'll go from 20K to 30K. Then from 30K to 40K. And then from 40 to 50K. Now this helps me because when I look at the RAG status, the red, amber, green status for all of you, which is something Emma puts together every week, I can then see in our inner circle who's at what point. How many have we got at this color belt? So each one of these again will relate to a belt I'll come to in a second. And then it's going to scale up again. So 50K to 60K, 60 to 80, and 80 to 100. And then we're going to move into the guys who are now doing the 7 figures. So at this point, it's going to be 100 to 200 a month, then 200 to 300 a month, then 300 plus a month. So that's the Ascension model we want. Now, your role in the business is going to change along the way. Every step of the way is going to change. So what we're going to have in parallel with this, let's say, so going back to, we've got an image here. So these are some of the discs we've got ready for so some of our members now. So inside here, our memory serves as 1 platinum disc, I think 1 gold disc, and 2 silver discs in there. So we've had the discs made for some of you members who've done some epic things, and at the next live event, you're going to get presented with them. Now, hopefully, by the next live event, we'll have another 10, 15 of these to give to you. It's not something that I've shared with the group so far. So it's been in my head about how to create this Ascension model, because I don't want to pressure people, but at the same time, my job is to get you to a certain point, and that's why you're here. So we're going to have this Ascension model. Then in parallel, each one of these different gradings will relate to a belt. And so I'm going to formalize this. I won't go through each belt now, We're going to have a white belt, we have a yellow belt, orange belt, etc. And then we start getting up to our master level. So here we got in our first degree Dan, second degree, etc., etc. So what that's going to give me, I can look at the inner circle and go, right, I've got these 10 members at 0.7. Would it be useful if I then created a session around moving from 0.7 to 0.10? Or I got 25 members at 0.4. Would it be useful if I created a session around going from 0.4 to 0.7? Or would it be useful creating a hot seat on how someone's gone from beginner to senior in 6 months? So this is on you, because on the one hand, you're all very humble and you don't shout, which is great. And we got our no dickhead rules, you know. However, it's also your biggest failing, because there are 2 questions that you're going to ask all the time. You should be asking. There's 2 questions. One is going to be, how do I fix? So how do I fix this campaign? That's short term. But then, how do I get to XXX? So I've mentioned the story a few times now of one of our members, but it's a really good example. 300K to 700K in his first year. And each question we got was, how do I fix this minor thing? How do I fix this font? How do I fix this sentence? How do I fix this campaign? How do I fix this small little thing? And then when I spoke in London about 9 months ago with Mitch, I said, Mitch, if you do this, I guarantee, absolutely guarantee, I stood in front of 50 people, so I guarantee you, you'll get to your 1.4. Guarantee you. The metrics support it. You just need to replicate what we're doing. But the question we kept going was, how do I fix this little thing? What he should have asked, he's going through his first year, is, Andy, I've done for 300K, 700K with one VA and a couple of strategies. How do I actually get to 1.4 quicker? So what you've got is, you've got and I'll say a negative question, that's how do I fix? And you've got a positive question. How do I model? How do I get to? So this is on you. Be aware of yourself where you are every day inside your business. Because one of the biggest failings I see inside the inner circle is we are hard on ourselves. Now, I'm incredibly hard on myself. However, you need to see a progression ladder. Why? I'll go back to what I said 10 minutes ago. There's only 2 things you need to get to the figure you want. 1, in conversion, and 2, scale that process, scale that campaign, scale that strategy. It's that simple. So be aware of yourself. What questions are you asking? So when you have a one-to-one with Emma, when you go through your game plans, when you go, I'm doing 20K a month, be aware of the questions you're asking. So I want to see your progression ladder. So I want to see in May that Mark is doing 20K a month. I want to see in September he's doing 50K a month. Now, if I see he's doing 20K a month and 4 months later he's doing 20K a month, we got a problem. We plateaued. So now this gives us complete transparency on you. So first off, in terms of this transparency, just give me your initial thoughts, your initial insights, your initial feedback, what's going through your mind in terms of having this as a transparent tool that I can see where you guys are, but also how we need to help you. But what's also your thoughts on having that transparency in terms of that Ascension model? Do you think, oh shit, there's going to be a bit of pressure? Oh, I'm going to compare myself. Or do you think it's a good thing? Are you going to put your soul into it? You're going to share your metrics? Are you going to attend the one-to-one when we try and book you in? Or are you going to shy away? Just tell me where you are. I won't mention names. I just want to get a feel for it. I've been thinking about this for years, but I think now's the time. We've got such a good group now. I think now's the time. Nice. Hey, Brant, welcome. So, congratulations. Top of iTunes, Brant. Straight away. Top man. Good. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. Now, what there also is going to be on this, and again, we're going to move through this. This part here, I think this might warrant an actual entire new program. I don't know yet. It depends who we got and who's there, but we're going to see how it moves. But the thing for me is momentum. In my own business, again, I'm very transparent all the time. You know that, guys. In my own business, I know very, very well that one bad day leads to a bad week, leads to a bad month. And the flip side occurs as well. So the key thing for me here, for you, is momentum. That's the key thing. So the things to be aware of, as we do this, is the following. So bring up this page, grab a pen and paper, sorry, rather pens. Now, this is why I think we need this model. And again, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I was a little bit, what's the word? Not nervous, skeptical about the response. Going back about 2-3 years, I asked the group, I was going to put together basically a white label platform that we were going to update and have essentially take your metrics every single day from your entire business. And the feedback was, Andy, you're not my school teacher, you're not my dad, bugger off. So what we're doing with the new platform is taking your metrics, but in the middle of the two. But now I think with the Ascension model, you can see yourself whether you're moving forward. Now, so what do we need? As we go through our business, we need, well, I believe, 3 things to ensure we got momentum. I'll say that again. Momentum. If you've got momentum, you don't have Ascension, you're going to grow. Unless you've got the wrong type of momentum. That's why we use metrics. So 3 things. First of all, accountability. Accountability through metrics. Accountability through metrics. The first thing we need as we grow. The second thing we need as we grow is your role definition. Is your role definition. Is it a good use of your time if you're doing $1 million to be speaking to a candidate? Is it a good use of your time if you're doing 200K to be dealing with a technical tool? Is it a good use of your time if you're a startup and you need to move quickly and you're adding 100 connections down on LinkedIn? So your role definition is going to change. The next thing we need projects. Projects. Now here's the thing. I'm in one mastermind group. And when I joined that mastermind group, I was told, Andy, this is a 5-year program. You've bought in for a year, but it's a 5-year program. Now, I know that to get anywhere in life, you've got the short version or you've got the long version. So you model what works. Same as for Muay Thai, you go to the best instructor to go to Thailand to train. We're used to. Same with if you're going to decorate your house. Something we're going through now. What a pain that is. But you're going to look at interior design magazines. You're going to model the best. So this is the 5-year program, Andy. But you're in for the first year. Now, the reality is, you're all here to earn X amount. So I just mentioned Brant. Brant, I think, has been with us 3 years now. Is it, Brant? But the reality is this. We need projects to go from 1 to 3 years. That's being real. If you get to $1 million, 2 million, and you're still doing the doing, you've still got a very well-paid job, possibly. But we need projects that support that Ascension model. Now, if we don't have that accountability, and those metrics, what happens is we plateau. Plateau. Even worse, we die thinking about it. We die. If we don't have that role definition, what happens is, and it will happen, you can't help it, that job becomes stressful. Then you're going to burn out. Then, I don't want to be dramatic, but I've seen this happen. I've seen marriages break up. I've seen illness. I've seen everything you can imagine, both in recruitment and outside recruitment, because we do not accept, as the business grows, our role grows. And we take on more. If we don't have these projects, what happens? We have a short-term set of goals. So again, I think about, and I'll say his name, Ken. So there's a hot seat inside the members area. Ken said to me about 4 years ago, he said, Andy, I can't learn any more from you. Can't learn any more from you. Then I got an email from one of our members. If you're on the call now, let me know. Said, Andy, you see what Ken's doing? I said, no, I don't know what Ken's doing. He's working for the man. Look, his business is shut down. Last time I spoke to him, he's doing 100K a month. So it's not just about learning new things. It's about the right project, the right systemization of the right project and goal. I'll say that again. It's not about new things. It's about the right project, the right systemization of the right goal. So we want to make sure that it's not just new stuff, but it's the actual implementation of that project. So we need to move away from that That short term. And some of this you might go, this is repetition. Guess what? It's pretty simple, isn't it? But we just don't do it. So in terms of the accountability, in terms of the metrics, what we need is a model that we can plug into. And that's what I've created. So you're going to plug your metrics into the new platform. That will then detail whether you're on target to hit your next belt. Your role definition. Now, one thing that bugs the shit out of me when I don't go on social media and waste my life there and, all these things. But when I go to any website or anyone's profile anywhere, it says Andy Whitehead, CEO of Andy Whitehead. I think, oh my God, you sat there in your pants looking at donkeys on YouTube. Crazy. But the reality is, inside this group though, inside the inner circle, we are actually creating businesses. You are creating a business. So your job role has to change. It has to change as your business changes. It has to change. So whether you term yourself a CEO, and that could be great because you could be actually that size business now, and also that might be the language you're going to use in your niche. But you must get that your role's going to ascend as well, which then moves into projects. It then moves into delegation, then moves into systems, etc., etc. And then with our projects, what does this give us? This gives us control, but it also gives you sustainability. So if, for example, I mentioned Brant just now. So Brant spent a lot of time planning, doing his podcast. In the space of launching it, it's #1 on iTunes, been asked to write a book. By the way, Brant, how'd that go? Picked up, by the looks of it, hopefully in LA, that I know it's next week now, I got the update, Brant, on that deal. So that project, he's focused on one project and done it properly. As opposed to the guy out there spinning a dozen plates. Next shiny object syndrome. So we focus on one project or maybe two projects to get to the next belt. So one of you might be on your 30K a month, and we might say to you, do you know what? If you use the Maven webinar strategy, that's going to get you to 50K a month. If you do this, combined with this. Someone else might be at the same belt. We might look at their niche and look at their clients, look at their candidates, and we say, do you know what? You're going to use this strategy, a completely different strategy. So it's the right project for the right business. So it's important that we get, your business is a living, breathing entity. A living, breathing entity. So if you've got your projects and you understand your role definition, you're naturally going to move from job owner to business owner because you're managing the projects. You're not doing the projects. If you do this, when we do a 30-day plan, 90-day plan, it isn't a coincidence that the guys who take these sessions seriously, and it's like, we're doing a planning session, I'm not doing the next 30 days now, my metrics, I'm on top of those. It's not a coincidence that the guys who are moving forward quicker and are more sustainable, they're taking their 90-day plan seriously. They're taking their projects. What do I need to do to get the next phase? Do I need one new project, one new strategy? Do I need two new strategies? How did Steve get from 30K a month to 50K a month in a similar niche? And when you've got a grip on your metrics and your role, naturally, what this will do, this will create a new team structure. Naturally, it will create a new team structure. Your job will become to assess the metrics. And it will get more and more discreet as you drill down. But that naturally will change your role. Now, when you have all this in place, you've now got the components of a proven model, But you must get the key thing here is your business is a breathing entity. It's a live breathing entity. And it's going to change, and your role is going to change. The constraints are going to change. I tried to address this about 2 years ago in a session called the Constraints Crusher. And looking back, I didn't do a very good job. So what we are now going to do is put together this Ascension model. So you're aware of what your failings are. We're aware of where we need to support you. So the key thing is momentum. Now, first off, any questions, any insights in terms of that, let me know. 2.5, love it. A lot of love from Brian, Matt, Charmaine, Jeff, Ted, Ken, etc. Hazel, great. Cool, guys. Let's do this. So I just want to make it really visual to you about what I don't want to happen for you. What I don't want to happen to you. So my big focus now is I want to keep a core group, that's core, C-O-R-E, not a cool, although you could be cool, a core group of stellar A players. Keep the DNA pure in this group. As opposed to, I've made mistakes. I made a mistake recently. And when I make a mistake, invariably it comes with something like someone coming in, downloading 300 strategies, then buggering off, and I got to employ a lawyer, costing me £500 an hour, and all that good stuff, and it's not cool. So I've made mistakes. My key focus is I want to take the group to where they want to go to. Now, this is what I've seen firsthand. This is what I've seen firsthand. If you think about your key outcome here, so let's say it's pounds or it's dollars, and you might have said, Andy, it is time. But again, we're going to be focused on cold hard cash. And then we've got our timeline. Now, let's say if we break it down into 6 months, 12 months, then we got year 2, year 3, etc. So what I've seen in the past, don't do it anymore, is this. Someone might come in and they start running campaigns, and this sort of thing happens. I've made it. I've had this rapid growth. And then they keep going. It's like, I've got to where I need to. I'm off. And that's completely cool. Please ensure you not only keep doing this, but you run the other game plan I showed you, you run these strategies I showed you, etc. Then they're going to come back. And they're down here. Because what they've done here, they've run a set of projects to get to this point. And the projects to get from this point to that point are completely different. The role changes. So this gap, they've been away for 6 months, 12 months, they come back. Nowadays, we don't allow them back into the group because I've learned it's toxic. It's toxic. And they're not taking their business seriously. So if they've left, they've left. They're gone. They're not taking their business seriously. But I've yet to see someone who's left and come back saying, can I rejoin? And they're up here. Because your business changes. The projects change. So what we want to be able to do now, as we move forward with your business, we want to move along these lines. We get the progress, right? We systemize it. So we know we've got the 4 steps: strategy, implement, convert, systemize, handover. So as we move through, we get this growth, but we get the stability, and your role changes. What I don't want for any of you, and this is the lesson I've seen, is this happening. What's got you to 6 months or got you to 200K or got you to 400, whatever it might be, is completely different to what's going to get you to the next phase. And this happens. And unfortunately, one of the first hot seats we did in terms of an inbound, we set up a inbound funnel on the chap's website. So basically clients come to his website, they're actually coming to his website and putting forward proposals for him to find staff abroad. And he went from doing crazy figures. His wife said to him, I've said it a few times, but it's one of my, I shouldn't mention a negative case study, but this guy left saying, I can't learn anymore. And then he's gone, by the looks of it, and gone right down here. Breaks my heart. I'm a little bit pissed off as well because I'm associated with him. So I want you to be aware that we've got this model. You've got this business. It's a living, breathing entity, but your role's going to change. Your role's going to change as you go through. The metrics you focus on will change as you go through. So let's say you're running a webinar strategy and you're doing under 500K. It probably is your job to check the registrations. Then do you have a follow-up process that one of your team call the registrations? Then you got the how far in the webinar did they go? They stay to the end. If you're at the point where you're doing 1 million, you shouldn't really be pissing about with metrics like that. You should have a project manager doing that. Shouldn't be looking at that. You should be looking at the high-level metrics. You should have a one-page dashboard. Your role changes. You become more strategic. So what I'm going to do, when I've got the information on where you're all at, so this is going to happen with an audit with Emma, one of the team. When we've got this information, we're going to have my own dashboard, my own matrix of where you're at. Then I can see, right, how do I get this group to the next phase? What game plan would be relevant to get this person to the next phase? Or this group of 10 people, let's put them into a separate mini pod and give them a separate game plan. So now, what we're doing previously, we're putting on steroids. We're putting on steroids with a rapid progress plan, but based on cash, based on what you're bringing in.